Hey guys, it's Dr. Susie here with one of my most favorite colleagues in holistic and natural health. This is Dr. Aaron Morland, founder of Vallejo Health and Wellness in Eden Prairie. He is a father of 3 amazing kids and a husband to an amazing wife. Dr. Aaron Morland, welcome and thank you so much for being on with me today.
Absolutely. Thanks, Susie, for having me here. It's great to talk with you guys.
Absolutely. I have to let you know why I'm talking to Dr. Morland. He is going to be one of our featured experts on Saturday, November 2nd at the Pediatric and Teen Health Summit. We are hosting here in the Twin Cities. We will put a link to grab your tickets. There's still tickets available. And Dr. Aaron is a fellow chiropractor. He and I go back a few years now in this amazing profession. He spoke at a kids event that we did in, I believe it was 2014, on a very a special topic near and dear to my heart as a mom and a practitioner taking care of families. He spoke on understanding vaccinations and immunizations. As we know, this topic is extremely hot right now, and Dr. Aaron has done just an incredible job with researching that topic and making his own decisions as a dad on vaccinating their kids. So we'll hear about that in just a quick moment. I wanted to just mention Dr. Aaron is a chiropractor. Yes, right?
I am, yep.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the key things when it comes to this talk is that I'm not an immunologist. I don't deliver vaccines. I'm a parent that really looked at this whole idea of do we vaccinate our children or not. I took it very seriously that, especially when they talk about the vaccines should be delivered under informed consent. And so I spent, I would say, thousands of hours doing research on it so that I could make the best decision for my kids, and then decided that most parents that are vaccinating or not vaccinating their children don't have that information, and it's not easily available. And so I decided, you know what, I'm going to share what I learned so that people can feel like they're more informed.
Absolutely. And that's what it's all about. I think, Dr. Aaron, you and I share the same heart of just bringing the information to families so that they can make the best choice for their family. So
Yeah.
give just a snapshot of what happened in your own family. Your wife is a nurse, and you guys had.
She is, yeah. So you had mentioned we have 3 kids. I know you have kids yourselves, and we are both under the belief too that the children we've been given is we have stewardship over them. That God gives us to them. That it's us that's supposed to take care of them, and we're supposed to come up with the how we're going to raise them, whether it be from disciplining them to what schools they go to how we approach their health care. And so vaccines is just a part of that stewardship. And as I was going through undergrad, we had twins, and we were doing what traditional medical was saying, that take your kids in, do the well visits, get the vaccines, and so we didn't think anything of it because it just made sense to us. That's what everybody else was doing. And my wife being a nurse, that's what she was trained in. And so again, it made sense to us. But it wasn't until I was stopping at the school, the chiropractic school, to drop off some paperwork that I needed to fill out, that I remember walking by a poster that said that, do you know what's in a vaccine? And I just of course I know what's in a vaccine, the virus. What else would be in a vaccine? It doesn't make any sense that there would be anything else. And so I stopped and I looked at this poster, and it listed all kinds of ingredients. I was like, why would that stuff be in there? And that kind of set that journey on for me, starting to look and do some research on it. It wasn't that I was for or against it, but it was the first time that really, I think that I had sparked a thought that maybe there's something more to vaccines than just, hey, you inject a vaccine into a child and they develop immunity, and then they're safe from that disease for the rest of their life. And so it definitely just planted a seed in my mind. And I don't think I brought it up with my wife. I think knowing that she's a nurse, I'm like, okay, she's not going to want to discuss this too much. But then when I started chiropractic school, and we actually had to do a paper in our public health class that that you were supposed to argue whether you should vaccinate or not vaccinate. And I remember going into that class and trying to do all the research to find out whether that's you should or should not vaccinate. And everything you could find was just 4 vaccines that was in like PubMed and such. And so then I started digging deeper and finding things that were saying stuff that wasn't in the necessarily PubMed, but it was still very researched information. And that's when I started to look at them. Well, maybe we're being presented one side of the story. And that's when I really started to dig down and started to look and spend those thousands of hours doing that research.
Mm-hmm. And you and your wife did end up giving your son a vaccine, and just talk about that observation that you guys had after that, because I think that's a very important and unique observation to make, that sometimes parents can tune out or think is maybe just a normal part of being an infant. But tell us that story too.
Sure. I think that if I was to have just presented the information that I was learning from my wife, I think she would have listened to it, and it would have been something that she would see, okay, yeah, there's something to these vaccines. I even brought her right after our son was born. So at this point, we've got twin daughters that are about 4 years old, and our son's just born. And I was talking to my wife more about the vaccines and whether we should or should not vaccinate, obviously, because we have a newborn and we're not sure what we need to do. And so I talked her into going to this seminar. Barbara Lowe-Fisher, who wrote the book A Shot in the Dark, who was very key in getting the pertussis vaccine changed to the acellular version. And then there was a medical doctor that sits on the vaccine board that was speaking. And so a lot of great credibility in these 2 women. And so I brought her to this seminar. And the Barbara Lowe-Fisher just talked about the pertussis vaccine, but then the medical doctor just talked about some of the vaccines that we're introducing to children that just don't even make any sense. And one of them being the hepatitis B. And it wasn't that she was completely against that shot, but she made it very clear that it doesn't make any sense to give to a baby in the United States. And so we had decided, hey, we're not going to do that shot. And so then we took our son my wife took our son to the doctor a week later, and they convinced her that she needed to have the hepatitis B shot. And at this point, our son's probably anywhere from 10 days to 2 weeks old, and gets the shot and comes home, and then he can't go to the bathroom anymore. He's constipated. No problem before that. All of a sudden, he's constipated, and all night long, he's grunting. And so I remember taking him to the chiropractor, because I was in chiropractic school, taking him to one of our instructors. She adjusted him. His childbirth was a C-section. And so there was some trauma there that we hadn't had him adjusted for yet anyways. But I remember she checked his little atlas, said it's substated. So she adjusted him, and he pooped instantly, right there on the spot. We thought that was pretty amazing, but he probably pooped another 3 or 4 times in the next 10 minutes. And we're like, is there some kind of way to shut him off now? Because this is crazy. And so it was really cool to see what chiropractic could do. But the problem was the grunting continued. So he'd grunt all night. You could tell that he was having a difficult time digesting, having a difficult time going to the bathroom. And so we started taking him to one of the other presenters that's going to be at this at the conference, Dr. Aaron Spicer, and she said, yeah, it's probably due to that insult to his nervous system that vaccine caused. And so we had to work with him. I remember it was probably a few months of working with him, doing all the things that she was teaching us to do and adjusting him and such. And he did get through that, but that was an eye opener to my wife. And I'm not sure if God just had allowed that to happen to her son so she could see that. But that was the deciding factor for her to decide, you know what, we're going to do more research about vaccines, and we're going to decide whether we are going to vaccinate these children or not. And so we, at that point, decided to just put it on hold. So.
So awesome. I love how our journeys as parents, I think they mirror the journey of a lot of parents that are out there. We've gone through these, the fear, unfortunately, that can be put into us by doctors. They're well intending, but they can present so much fear and almost intimidation with these decisions. We had a preemie. Our son Ethan was born at 28 weeks.
Oh, wow.
So it got very real, with premature babies in the NICU. You are, there's just no question whether they're going to get their vaccines. I mean, they are at every risk that exists for even survival, much less, contracting diseases. So I too, Dr. Aaron, had to get very serious about, why am I going to choose to immunize him or not? And in my research, I learned that premature babies get the same dose of vaccination as a 6-year-old child. So there's no dose specification, no matter what size you are, which...
Yeah, weight doesn't matter. How developed your immune system is does not matter. Unfortunately, other things like predisposition to like certain genetics and such are not looked at, and so every baby is just treated the same. And as you noticed, as a preemie, at 28 weeks, that baby is completely different than a 40-week-old child. Yeah, I mean, we saw it even just neurologically developed. We had our twins were 36 weeks when they were born, and they could not figure out how to breastfeed until it was like the day that they hit 40 weeks gestation. Boom! It was like a switch turned on, and they just figured it out. And so there's just so many things different about a 28-week-old child, like a gestation child, than a 40-week.
Yes. Yeah. And so I just want to tell parents out there that, are navigating decisions and intimidation, or, not having all the facts. I guess we just want to say, we've been there too, and to not be hard on yourself, but to truly get informed in a way that is not putting pressure on you to make these decisions quickly. If anything, take your time in making these decisions. Make sure that you feel equipped and informed and supported before you partner with that pressure, if you will. Again, just what's that?
I was just going to say that the hard part is that can be it's a lot of information. We're not talking about one vaccine that they're having to pick, although people can do that. We're talking about many different vaccines, and we're talking about, like, when I spoke at the conference that you had me at, I could have easily did a 5 to 7 hour seminar on those vaccines, and I think as it was like 2 or 3 hours, and so it can be overwhelming. And obviously, when I'm speaking at the conference that coming up, it's not going to be that long of a seminar. And so, more than anything, what I want parents to realize is, again, that we have this stewardship over these children, and as parents, there's a lot of decisions that we need to make. And I would definitely say the decision to vaccinate, not vaccinate, or to choose certain vaccines, or to change the time frame or how you vaccinate, can literally change this kid's life for their entire life. And for some kids, it's not going to make a difference at all. Did I just lose you?
That's okay. Sorry. We're back. We're back.
Yeah, so for some kids, it's not going to make a big difference. You'll see that it didn't seem like it made any. And for some kids, that one shot could change their life and really have a negative impact on them. So it's just a really important topic. And I cannot stress enough, it's just like politics, religion. There's so much emotions tied to this right now that people are not making great decisions. They're making decisions based off their emotions only. And I think that it's really important that we put those aside. And that's one of the things that I can't stress enough in this talk that I'm going to be doing, is that I'm going to present it from a way that's try to help set the emotions so that we can really make good decisions what's best for our children, and then also from a public health aspect, because that's what a lot of people are arguing about, is that public health is just are you putting me at risk by you making the decision that you're making? And we'll talk about that when I speak.
Yes. Awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. Aaron. You are just such a gem. It's been an honor to work alongside you over these years, and we are just thrilled that you're going to be on our panel of experts Saturday, November 2nd. So go ahead and get your tickets. It's the Minnesota Holistic Roundtable Pediatric and Teen Health Summit. We hope to see you there. Have an awesome day, Dr. Aaron. I hope
you as Susie, I just want to end with one thing too. I'm just so impressed by what you're doing. I think this is absolutely needed in this in our healthcare environment, and I'm just so grateful that you're having me speak. But more than anything, grateful that you are putting this panel together, and that parents do have something like this that they can go to, where they can learn and be the parents that God's created them to be, to take care of the children that God's blessed them with.
Yes, absolutely. So well said. We have so many amazing experts in this community, and it's going to be so exciting to get us all together and just rally for this next generation. So we share that same heart. So it's going to be awesome, and we can't wait for it, and we hope to see you there. So have an awesome day, and we'll see you guys soon. Take care.
Thank you again. God bless.
God bless. Bye-bye.